It's been a couple months, but it's time for a new Blu-ray and graphic novel haul, and I'll talk a little bit about video games at the end as well. But if you're wondering what stuff I've picked up, it's not a ton as of recently, but I'm gonna let you know what it is. And the reason I didn't do one last month is because I just didn't purchase many Blu-rays. I still haven't purchased many Blu-rays, but people have been asking, so let's get back to it. First off, nice and simple, the RoboCop trilogy, the original trilogy of RoboCop films coming up at the end of August. We have a new 31 on 31. I'm not sure if we've officially announced what it is yet, but let's just say that these three movies were purchased for the sake of an upcoming 31 on 31 on August 31st. We will be, a group of us with the Autop stream will be ranking 31 movies, but I'm not sure if I can tell you what they are yet. But with that said, first up, we've got this guy right here, the original RoboCop. Great sci-fi action film that has just such sharp satire in it. Paul Verhoeven is just a master of making these ultra-violent movies with just biting satire blended into the mix. And so, just a classic sci-fi action movie. If you haven't seen it, it probably plays a little bit strange now because it's one of the last of sci-fi adventures before CGI stepped in, so it has stop motion, so there's things like that might not age well for certain people, but man, it's a classic. Definitely recommend it. Very rated R. It's super violent, super sadistic, but that's the plot of the movie. Then right along with that, then we have RoboCop 2 and 3. Both of these are the Scream Factory edition. Scream Factory always has amazing exclusive special features with their movies. And I don't remember the original one was released. I don't know why I didn't get the Scream Factory one or if it wasn't available, but there was a bunch of special features on the one I had for that one as well. But so RoboCop 2 is actually directed by Irvin Kershner, who directed Empire Strikes Back. So they got a guy known for doing really great sequels. I've never really been crazy about RoboCop 2. Just certain things about it always seemed a bit odd to me. With the direction they went things, it felt like they undid some of the character development of RoboCop from the original one. But if you want more RoboCop action that's still rated R, that's even more sadistic, even crueler, even meaner, there's always RoboCop 2. And then we have RoboCop 3, a movie that I actually saw in the theater when it came out. That it's not very good. All sorts of wacky stuff went on behind the scenes with the production, and it sat on the shelves for a couple years. And I remember that they had ads for it in certain magazines that I was reading, and I think they were working on the Nintendo game or something like that. I had Nintendo Power, Game Pro, a bunch of those early 90s video game magazines, and they had ads saying it was coming out, and then it didn't come out. I was like, wasn't a RoboCop movie going to come out? And then eventually it did come out years later. So I saw it in the theater, and I thought it was pretty great at the time because I was just a little kid finally getting to see a PG-13 movie, and there's a ninja robot in it, and RoboCop has a jetpack. So I thought it was incredible, but watching it now, it is a flawed film. I don't think it's necessarily as bad in a lot of ways as people make it out to be, but it's pretty bad. It has a lot of the satire in there, not quite as much as it probably should have, and there's a number of story problems. But anyway, that's for a different video, perhaps coming on August 31st. But so anyway, also like I said, it was the Scream Factory edition, so they had all sorts of interviews with the writer, director, and stuff, and it's pretty fascinating just kind of hear their kind of take on it. They're aware of the reception, that people didn't think it was so good, and it's kind of fun to hear different people's reflecting on a movie that they spent years making, only to have people be like, that wasn't very good. And they're like, well, here's what we thought did work, here's what maybe didn't work, and here's where we agree with the criticisms, here's the things we wish we could have changed. Pretty fascinating stuff. Next one on here is a movie from earlier this year that I missed when it first came out, The Bad Guys, and ever since then, my wife's wanted to watch it, so I bought it while she was out of town on her work trip. Then she came back and we couldn't watch it with her because she had COVID, so we had to lock her in the other room. So didn't quite work out, but eventually she got over the COVIDs and we could sit in the same room with her and finally watch The Bad Guys. So I've now seen The Bad Guys, and it's a nice little movie. Kind of a heist movie with heroes with hearts, or villains with hearts of gold trying to be better people. And so just playing into some of that Ocean's 11 kind of energy. And yeah, I thought it actually kind of worked. A little bit of Zootopia, a little bit of Ocean's 11, all of it really enjoyable, and an interesting animation style too. Just the way that they visualized the whole thing, I liked it. I really liked the way they drew it. Solid plot, so just an enjoyable film for the whole family. Next up, we got a couple of graphic novels that I picked up. First one up is Superman 78, and if you don't know what this is, essentially they decided to do a comic run continuing the Christopher Reeve films. So that's why it's called Superman 78, because Superman the movie came out in 1978. There's also a Batman 89 that I've also ordered the graphic novel for that when it comes out. Here's one of the cool little details about this one, is that when you pull away the sleeve, it pretends like it's a VHS tape. So that's what the actual cover of it is. Looks like a VHS tape, which is just like a nice touch. Like, they know the exact people that are buying this, that grew up watching our VHS copies of Superman the movie, Superman 2, and I've told this story many times before, but like my copies of Superman the movie and Superman 2 were the versions recorded off television, the broadcast version, that they added extra scenes in. And so I grew up watching this VHS copy of it with extra scenes put into it. And so whenever I bought the movie later on in life and had a real copy that wasn't just this low grade off television broadcast version with commercial breaks, it was missing scenes, and I didn't know why until jump forward internet era comes around and you start to learn, like, oh, they added in scenes to extend the runtime, to put more commercials on it because they paid a bunch of money, and then those scenes disappeared for 20 years until the DVD releases where they started doing extended cuts and stuff. So there's like this whole history of stuff that I learned. But anyway, back to this one. I'm 2/3 of the way through it. I think it's 6 issues. I've read 4 of the 6 issues that are on it, so I just don't know how Superman saves the day in the end, but I know the journey that he goes on involves Brainiac and a bunch of pretty wild, crazy stuff, as you'd expect. And here's a fun one I've been slowly reading through. I actually bought the individual issues of this. I don't know if I have all of them, but I have like most of them, and then I went, all right, they got a hardback. I'd much rather just do the hardback version of it, and it wasn't too expensive, so I bought the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Last Ronin. That's kind of this post-apocalyptic Ninja Turtle story where the story kicks off and you only have one Ninja Turtle. He's carrying all of their weapons, and you learn throughout the story that like it's this just dire world. The Ninja Turtles are dead. Ninja Turtles have been gone for 10 years, and then this one reemerges to like try and stop the bad guys. And so it's like, yeah, just this bleak story of revenge, and you're kind of learning what happened, and this one guy trying to save the day in the end of it. So I don't know the conclusion yet because I haven't started reading the full version, but I go on vacation in a week, so I'm hoping to check that out. Final thing to talk about in here, we also bought the game WB's Multiversus, which is essentially Super Smash Warner Bros. Or Space Jam Legacy as Super Smash Bros. I mean, you just look at it, instantly you know this is Warner Brothers just doing their version of Super Smash Bros. Nickelodeon already copied Super Smash Bros. Now Warner Brothers is doing it, and this is interesting because I'm cheating a little bit on this one. I didn't actually buy it. Liam bought like made the investment so we can get all the cool extra stuff that goes with. Like, he wanted the full version. I guess there's a free version that you can get, and it's only in beta. I don't even understand the release of it, but he wanted to go all in on this deal to get all the characters and everything he could, and so he's actually the one that pushed to make this one happen. So we just got this one a few days ago. I've only played that much of it thus far. Haven't even gotten to dive into it, but Liam and I are probably going to do a live stream on one of my channels of the two of us playing through all the characters, figuring everything out, where you can have Batman fight Shaggy and all sorts of stuff, like Iron Giant versus Bugs Bunny, all that kind of crazy stuff. And so fun times. That's what I picked up this month. And yeah, there you have it. So some comics I'm going to read on my vacation to the beach in a week, and some movies that I'm watching, maybe for a video coming out on August 31st. Let me know what you guys picked up this month or over the last couple months, I suppose. Thank you so much for watching, and keep talking movies and TV too much. Bye-bye.